Hi everyone, today I want to talk about a very important market research tool that will help you decide whether an opportunity is worth pursuing or not before even reading it, before even looking at the details, before even understanding the details or even placing a bid. It's by far the most important step that you can do. It's low effort, but at the same time, it helps you make informed decisions on whether to pursue an opportunity or not from the get-go. Like a minute into it, you just understand the title, the summary. At that point, you should do this market research step because without it, you're going to waste, in most cases, a lot of time and effort chasing or pursuing the wrong opportunity. And I'm going to show you how. Now, you could do this using free tools. There are a lot of them online, but it's going to be difficult and not as easy. So what I'm going to show you today is on samsearch.co, and it's the way I do market research. So let me show you how. It makes it super easy. Now, let's say I'm looking at this federal government contracting opportunity, and I see that it's by the Department of State, and it's for travel arrangements and reservation services. Now, a very important step before I even read more into this is I want to understand the spending of the Department of State in the travel arrangement and reservation services NAICS code. That's what's important to me, because with that, I can make decisions on whether my business is eligible to pursue such opportunities or place bids. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Now, if we scroll to the bottom here and click on analytics, I would like to see, as you can see here, the spending of the Department of State in the travel arrangement and reservation services specifically. So as you can see here from the bar chart here, that most spending is going for small businesses and minority-owned businesses. So if I am a small business and I have the certificate for a minority-owned business, then I'm in a really good position to bid for this in the travel arrangement reservation services for the Department of State. Now, if you look at the set aside, you could see that all of the set asides spending, almost 35.5 million, was spent for small disadvantaged businesses and 8A. So if I'm an 8A or small disadvantaged business, I am in a good position to bid on this because the spending of the agency aligns with the certificate I have. Now, I'll give you an example. We're looking at this data. You can tell that it's not a good opportunity for you to look into. For example, let's say I'm looking into this one and it's a construction contract, and it's, as you can see here, it's a commercial and institutional building construction, and the buyer is the VA, it's the Department of Veteran Affairs. Now, if we scroll here at the analytics, you can see here the profile of companies, and these are primes. You could reach out to them to partner with them if you want. But what I use it in this case is to see their profile. So there's a lot of them here listed. And what I see here in their profile on usaspending.gov, I see the awarded amount. This is how much this company got from 28 transactions in the past. I could see the spending over the years. But what's important to me here is I find in the business type, and this is the set aside, is that they are a veteran-owned business. This is not perfect science, but I would like to see the profiles of the company that are getting some money from this agency for construction to see if I'm like them or not, or to see if I have the same set aside or certificates as them. Now, if you scroll down and look at the spending, we see that a lot of the spending is happening for veteran-owned businesses. So you can see 12.7 when it comes to construction. VA spends 12.7 on construction compared to other ones. So as you can see here, unspecified is 13, but we have 12.7 veteran-owned. Now, if we look at the set aside, and this would confirm what we are seeing, that most spending for the VA when it comes to construction is going to veteran-owned businesses, 10.2, whereas no set aside is just 1.4. And then small businesses and 8A, they're only getting almost $300 million in contracts. So if I am not a veteran-owned business, I really have low chances bidding on construction government contracts with the VA, because I could see the pattern. It could be the regulation. It could just be the way the agency functions. I could see the pattern that they have a strong presence when it comes to veteran-owned businesses, but not as much when it comes to small disadvantaged businesses. So this tells me if I'm not a veteran-owned business, I should not come here, even though it doesn't say, by the way, that this is a set aside for small businesses. I just saved myself so much time by just doing this brief research on SAM Search to understand that VA construction means veteran-owned business. Now, I'll show you another example of Department of Veteran Affairs, but this time we're looking at computer system design services. So we're not looking at construction, and I want to show you that even if it's the VA, that doesn't mean that it's only for veterans. Now, when we look at the analytics, we see that the spending for a lot of it is unspecified. It's not for small businesses, it's not for veteran-owned businesses. It's a mix of everything when it comes to here, but a lot of it is unspecified, and that's for computer system design. So I could see that a lot of the spending is going to unspecified, so it doesn't have to be veteran-owned, although a good portion of it is a veteran-owned business. And by the way, these two can overlap, so it's important that you distinguish veteran-owned business could also be a small business at the same time. Now, I'll show you one last example, and this is the Department of State, and then we're looking at travel arrangements and reservation services. Now, when I scroll down and I look at companies that are doing this, it's important that I see what the companies that are doing well, and they're small businesses, and getting almost 35 million. It's important to see them. If there's a possibility for you to contact them, work with them as a prime, as a sub, it would be great. Now, we see here that when it comes to the Department of State's spending, when it comes to travel arrangements and reservation services, we see that it's all over the place for small businesses and minority-owned businesses. We see that the spending is $35.4 million, and then you have $39.3 million unspecified. So if I'm a small business, I'm in a good position here because I know that the spending of this department aligns with my business. Now, you can see here that when it comes to the set aside, almost most contracts go to small disadvantaged businesses and 8A. So that means that I'm in a good position as a small business to bid on this. This didn't take me 2 minutes, but it saved me so much time if I went after the wrong opportunity or the wrong department or the wrong NAICS code and spend so much time breaking it down, even spending money on the proposal and spending so much time to gather all the information, submitting a bid, and so on. So just a small step in research saved me a lot of time and a lot of effort. So make sure you're doing your market research as a first step before we even talk about sources sought, before we even talk about bids, before we even talk about breaking things down. This should be the first step in your market research, is seeing the spending by NAICS code for that specific department you are looking into. I hope this was helpful. If you're serious about government contracting, make sure you get SAMSearch. It's by far the easiest way to do market research like this. Find government contracts on a federal, state, local, and education level. Break government contracts down with AI. Generate proposals with AI. And manage your overall government contracting process from start to finish using SAMSearch. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.